now, the Muslim ticket, if you may want to comment on that first and foremost, and perhaps why should Nigerians look in the direction of Kwankwaso?
Well, for Kwankwaso, thank you so much, by the way. For Kwankwaso, it's a straightforward conversation, and when you put all the front runners all together, Kwankwaso, Asuwaju, of course, of whom I campaign for, I still hold him very highly, Atiku, and of course Peter Obi. There's something I just keep telling people. For the first time, the country is lining up presidential front-runner presidential candidates that each one of them, except you don't want to be honest with yourself, has the capacity to run this country. But now what should be paramount is who has an edge, And I keep saying now very clearly, Kwankwaso does. And it's very easy for you to be able to draw your conclusion. When you put all the candidates on the table and you take them one after the other, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar rose from Deputy Director in the Custom, due respect to him, to become the presidential candidate. Didn't make it the first time. Then again, won election as governor, then became a Vice President. So the highest position he's held is a Vice President, which is not an executive position. So you could say he has not been tested. He's come up with a lot of ideas. You listen to him, you know he has good ideas about how to run Nigeria and the rest. But the question mark is, has he ever been tested? So he's never been tested. You put that aside. Of course, you will take Asuwaju, two-time governor of Lagos State, did excellently well. He was a senator of the Federal Republic. It stops there, contributed extensively to our democracy, and of course has a very good business background. Peter Obi, former chief executive of a smaller bank, two-time governor. You go on to Kwankwaso. When you take the legislature, he was a former deputy speaker of the House, presiding over 600 members of the National Assembly. After that, he became a member of the Constitutional Conference, drafting the constitution that we're using now in the country. After that, went on to become governor of Kano State, 1999 to 2003, laying a solid foundation for sustainable development, which all successive government in Kano State continue to go back to tap wealth of experience to be able to implement policies that we are seeing, and that's why Kano is surviving until death. After that, he was Minister of Defense, which is part of what the country needs at the moment, that experience of somebody who has security experience. Then again, we need the international exposure. He was an ambassador. Then came back again to be a governor between 2011 and 2015, and he didn't even stop that again. Became a senator of the Federal Republic. So in all the candidates, this is not we playing politics. If you want to put all the candidates on a scale and look at them, none of them come close to Kwankwaso. That is not without saying all of them are not qualified. All of them are good enough. If you ask me to take a second president, of course, Asuwaju will come second before the rest. So with Kwankwaso as president, you will see dynamism in leadership. You will see massive, and of course, you read it all over. People are already talking about infrastructure revolution. He's demonstrated that in Kano. He's somebody who believes in infrastructure, education. And I tell you something, education is the foundation of most of the problems that we faced. For he's somebody who believes so much in education. So you're going to see a lot of the infrastructure expansion, or call it revolution. You will see a lot of innovation. Educational system, we revamped healthcare and so many other sectors. But also, most importantly, because the president does not need to know everything, Kwankwaso has demonstrated the ability to be able to choose the right people and put them in the right places. The only thing that we need, and that's what we are working on diligently, and we are not talking too much about that because a lot of work is going behind the scene. We're trying to get a running mate that will shock Nigerians. Once we get somebody to pair with Kwankwaso, I can assure you that we'll be in the villa in 2023. Sorry, apologies, because I understand that Mr. Ladipo Johnson is a running mate to Kwankwaso. Is he a placeholder also? Is he an interim to be replaced later? Is that what you're saying? You do not have a substantive running mate yet? Yes, we've put forward Mr. Ladipo, but at the same time, again, since we have the opening, we have the latitude of time, we're working on getting again a presidential running mate. Of course, you know, it's a matter of public knowledge that we're in talks with Peter Obi, of which we believe that it will be able to take care of a lot of things. One, to address the issue of the marginalization of the Southeast. Secondly, bringing somebody with the private sector background. Then, of course, a lot of followership that he has amongst the youths. But again, we are taking that cautiously because that has not been tested in terms of electoral value. But again, from the surface, you will be able to agree that he has a massive youth followership.
So clarify to us, Honorable Jibrin.
Yes.
That's when you're talking about the possible alliance with Peter Obi and the Labour Party. There are those who are of the view that maybe Kwankwaso will be the running mate to Peter Obi, or is it the other way around? Well, very clearly, Kwankwaso will not be the running mate to Peter Obi. By every standard, Kwankwaso should be the presidential aspirant. Kwankwaso has more exposure, political exposure, more experience. He has a bigger profile when it comes to that. He has more experience politically on how to win the election. And at the end of the day, when you look at the equity contribution in terms of vote, it will be a ratio of about 70 to 30%. We're looking at bringing in 70% of the contribution, even if it is in business. Peter Obi is experienced in business. He knows that whoever is bringing the larger chunk of their equity is expected to stay on board. But again, even if you take away the issue of the totality of vote that is expected to bring from the northern part of the country, which Kwankwaso is going to bring as the single most popular politician today in the northern part of the country, akin to, and because we've not even seen where he stopped, probably he will turn out to be even more popular than Buhari, because again we haven't seen what where his own is going to stop. With due respect to the president, we are very sure he's going to continue to command his respect and the rest. But Kwankwaso comes in as a person who is going to be a successor of that chunk of